Hello everyone, it's me Chris at Pro Unboxing with our Friday chat again. Today we're talking about some new pads that's come in, or mitts, wherever you come from. You know, we do a massive selection. You know, we do the original Air mitts, we do the Air Coach Spar mitts, we do round mitts, as everyone knows, they're various colours, and we do our newer one, the palm pad for warming people up. Very popular. Now, in the last couple of deliveries we got a lovely Mexican punch pad for getting your boxers to dig the toes in and fire them hard shots in. Now, some people don't tend to like this dip, some people do. It's always 50-50. We get asked, sometimes we get asked, even for these, we get asked, can we put the dip in them? And then when we get the dip in them, people say, can you not have it just flat? So what we've done with the mitt pads, etc., is we'll run these and we'll run these. This is a newer one. It's a very deep curve, and it's got nice little ball shaped thing inside so you can grip it nicely, and then you've got that, or you use your teeth on it to pull it on well. Now these are made of calf skin. Well, the blue part is calf skin anyway, the rest is just cow, good cowhide leather. They're a very good shock absorbing mitt, good size, not too big. As I always say to people, if you have it too big when you're doing the pads and you've got inaccurate punches, not necessarily novice punches, because I've had top pros who aren't accurate and you clip the side and the top, it damages your tendons and your wrist. So nice compact size for that reason. Now we always put the strap on to tighten the wrist, our little tab to pull them on comfy, little wrist pad because I hate the because I use pads, I hate that. Flat pads tend to slap your wrist and bruise it up a bit. But there we are, that's the new flat one to run alongside that. Different shape, like a more teardrop effect shape. Now it's the same main pad in this as in this here. Not here because this is an extra lip obviously. This, it's a mixture of EVA foam and a shock absorbing type foam that we use in there to take the shock away. A lot of other people's smaller pads, they're very hard, and they've just got a sheet of foam in there with a bit of something glued on the back, and it doesn't take the shock away, and that's why a lot of coaches end up with bad elbows, bad shoulders, because the shock's being transferred from the punches. It doesn't matter what size gloves the boxer's wearing or whoever on the pads are, it's still the shock of it's the force of the punch coming through. So you need really good quality EVA type and shock absorbing foam in the middle. Another essential, what we always do, is finger guard. Now I've been doing and I'm saying inaccurate pro fighters. I used to have two, both world level punchers. One was a bantamweight, 54 kilo, whatever you want to call it. He was British champion. He could wallop, and the amount of times he's hit me on the top and fractured my fingers and stuff, he's unbelievable. Now he was one because he was, I wouldn't say wild, but he liked to throw his shots. And the other guy, he was a light heavyweight in the boxing and a middleweight in UFC apparently. He was the last one to break my finger, this one, and he hit me on the top with the open pads. And it always sort of shatters at the knuckle, and he ended up packing in pro boxing because he had a contractual dispute with the promoter, and went over to UFC and had a successful UFC career. Hot chocolate, Danny Roberts. So he was the last one to break my fingers on the pads, and ever since, everything we've developed and had, I always put the finger cover on, and that's padded as well on all of them. Not so much on that one as that one, but it's anybody who's ever had that will know what I'm talking about. Now, sort of in between all these, I always get asked for something a little bit smaller. So what we've done is developed the micro mitt. Now we've had this in our gym, testing and rechanging the foam inside and tweaking the size for over a year now. So this is the micro mitt. It's curved. I know it's the same colour as that, but we want them nice and bright so people see them. And I think I want to do them in black as well for those people who like black. Now these, again, padded across there. They've got a nice little ball inside so you can, you know, the half ball, so you can feel the grip. Same padding. Slightly thinner to keep in, you know, shrunk down size. Now, as you can see, all round, it is small, really small. All the coaches in our gym who've used these have raved about them. Our sister gym in Holland, they've had them for a while over there. They love them. They'll be going out to our American shops shortly as well. I think these are really good. Same calfskin. The blue's calfskin. The lime vault is aniline quality cowhide, so you know what you're getting. But there's just a shrunk down version of this for those people who like a small fast pad to do the fast work with. I'll get the scales and I'll weigh them all for you so you can see how light our pads are as well. Okay, we're going to weigh these in grams and size order. So first of all, we have our original mitts. Look at that, 286 grams. Very light, very durable, good for big hitters or those using pads very often who suffer with bad elbows and shoulders. Our round mitt, 228 grams. So, extremely light. Our new curved mitt, 253, so a little bit, not that it feels any difference, but a little bit heavier. That's probably with the new shock absorbing foam and things like that. Our micro mitt, 183 grams. So you won't even know you've got them on. Absolutely brilliant. And obviously our little ones, not even 25 grams. But you know what they're for. So there you see the weights of those. Now compare that to a Coach Spar glove, which is 355. So although that's got a lot of padding to hit back with, and the Hermit takes a lot of the padding weight out of it. So the only other thing we have that's heavy, or probably be the king of the heavyweights of what we use, is 882 grams Mexican Punch Shield. So ideally, being a coach, you don't want heavy pads. Some pads do weigh a lot, some are too big and bulky, some are too round, some are too long, the old school ones. So you've got to get that perfect combination of shock absorbing, durability and lightweight. So I think we cover everything with our pads. The only one that's not on here, we'd actually do a tie pad that's an Hermit. We don't do a lot of them, but when they do come in, they go out straight away to kickboxing Thai coaches, because traditionally a Thai kick pad type, what they use, the big square ones, they're heavy. They're extremely heavy, and I think when they all them Thai pads, and they must get really tired doing that, because if I have to, well, I'm not going to do any more, but after 10-12 rounds with ordinary pads, you feel it. So imagine what you feel like with them big hefty Thai pads. They're really heavy. They're well into the kilos, those, so that's probably why our Hermit type Thai pads are popular. But we generally concentrate on boxing, pro boxing mainly, and amateur boxing rather than Thai, so that's why we don't keep a lot of them in stock. Now, that's our new things for this week. Next week, we're going to go back to doing a couple of comparisons. We're going to compare fight glove, an 8-ounce fight glove, and a hybrid glove next week. I'm not going to tell you which models, they're going to compare with ours, and I will surprise you all with that one because they're two very well known brands. So that's next week's one we're getting ready for. Also, we're comparing the headguard as well on next week as well, so it'll be a one brand headguard fight gloves and another brand hybrid gloves. So look forward to that one. I hope everybody's looking forward to the big fight this weekend. Who are you putting your money on? 50-50, early finish, Conor Benn, late finish or points, Eubank Jr. That's my prediction. It's a close fight because nobody knows, because neither of them have ever boxed anybody at a higher level, and when Mr. Eubank has, he's been beat. So there you go. Liam Beefy Smith, he's on it against one of the McKenna brothers. I think we all know Mr. Smith has got far too much experience and in the locker for young Mr. McKenna, so money on that one, Mr. Smith. There's a few other good fights on there. It's up to you. I fancy Chev Clark and the cruiserweight one. The rest, I think they're just learning fights for the home boxers. So enjoy watching that show. There you've got me tips for the money, where you want to put your money. I don't gamble. I always get it wrong if I gamble. So, but I'm always right if I don't. There you have it. Come and see our pads, mitts on the website. They're available now. Within the next week or so, the US shops should have them in as well. If not, you can buy them direct, I don't mind. This is the old original AirPad. Don't forget, we improve them every time. So you've seen the new one last week, so we still have these in stock anyway if you like the smaller size. But there you go, there you have it. I've got to go and train my pro fighters, so I'm getting off this week, and I'll see you next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tick the box, get more people onto us. I might put some music on one day. See you next week.